What is happening, guys? Welcome back to another reaction. We are checking out Can't Stop by Sungmin and IN as we are finally finishing off the Maxident album reaction, which took way longer than I expected. And I am aware of the fact that there's another version of Circus that I will be checking out on my own time. I did react to the original music video somewhere up there if you want to check it out. Talked about the meanings, the visuals, and everything else. I do understand that, it's a Korean version in this album, and maybe it'll hit a little bit different. I'll find that out on my own time, but I decided to check that out on my own time. But Sungmin and IN's Can't Stop is definitely a song that I'm very excited to check out. Obviously, with Sungmin, we know how incredibly talented he is vocally, especially checking out something like Kingdom Legendary War. But also, I'm very excited to see a little bit of focus on his vocals here, as he is. Those two guys are definitely like two of the most adorable guys from Stray Kids, especially when IN is like trying to be serious or confident or something. It still comes off as incredibly like adorable. So I'm very excited to see what the song is all about. And before we get into that, I actually wanted to check out another song by Stray Kids, the only music video from their previous album, Ordinary, the B-side music videos that I didn't check out, which is Lonely Street. So actually going to start off with that one and then move on to Can't Stop, which is why I didn't make a triple reaction in the previous video to Taste and Free Racha, because I kind of planned on checking out Lonely Street as well as Can't Stop. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Still Stray.
감아서 보는 밤 어차피 아무것도 안 보인다 뭘 기대한 걸까 눈을 떠도 똑같아 귀찮아지지 않은 여기 외딴 길 가로등은 오래전에 고장났지 얼어버린 신발 밑창이 남긴 발자취는 얼만가 지워져 지쳐 쓰러질 것 같은데 더는 못 갈 것 같은데 내게서 많은 걸 뺏어갔지만 에이 여기 내가 걷는 마지막 way 이제와 날 위로하지만 I'm still on my way 길을 걸어가다 falling down I'm falling down the street is desolated 난 또 blacked out 틈만 남은 spaced out the street is isolated still astray astray
Damn.
Just stop it all cause I'ma go on my way Every day and night I'm walking 자꾸는 밤엔 더 어둡지 고독하지만 the learn king 갈보한 내 길은 내가 그려줘 너를 향해 but I'm blue I'm even with the moon I'm still astray I'm still astray 다시 넘어질 것 같은데 더는 못 갈 것 같은데
Damn.
내게서 많은 걸 뺏어갔지만 에이 여긴 내가 걷는 마지막 way 이제와 날 위로하지만 I'm still on my way 길을 걸어가다 falling down I'm falling down the street is desolated 난 또 black out 틈만 남은 spaced out the street is isolated still astray 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 just stop it all cause I'ma
Oh my God, that was
my way
Oh. Holy shit. Okay, before we talk any more about this music video, let's take this back, because this kind of took me by surprise a bit, to be honest. I expected a sad song based on the title. I wasn't expecting the rock elements, and the auto tune as well came in as quite the surprise too.
길을 걸어가다 falling down, I'm falling down. Your street is desolated. Now don't break out till my name is spaced out. Your street is isolated. Still astray, astray, astray. Just stop it all, 'cause I'ma go on my way.
Interesting. Like, so far from what I could gather, obviously it talks about like depression and anxiety and your biggest fears, and the fact that just because you made it, it doesn't take those fears away. Much like that gun gesture that Felix did, like having like those depressive, torturing thoughts. To me, like, this song is definitely a representation of the fact that you can be on top of the world. Like, literally, Stray Kids can be as popular as they are, and they still can feel astray. They can still feel alone. All of these guys almost like face constantly like their fears and their depression. Like Felix with the gun, obviously it represents something very, very dark, but the fact that he points that gun at his shadow, at his darkness, essentially, because that's what made him pull that gun up to his head initially. It's the negative thoughts, the shadow, the darkness that made you think about pulling that trigger, and then him coming to the conclusion that he needs to kill those demons and not kill himself, which is why the video starts with them together running. The video ends with them lying on the ground, and only Lino is the one who's awake, which was very interesting. Like, to me, like, it's like the representation of them constantly battling their demons. Essentially, it's an everyday battle. It never stops. It gets better, but at the same time, it never ends. And I feel like with Bangchan, it was very interesting because he was on this running track and he ran out of power, essentially. Like, he was exhausted and he was in pain. He was struggling, which was very, very interesting, because if there's one thing about Bangchan that I kind of learned, especially with Kingdom when they were playing those Olympic Games, if I'm not mistaken, is that he's incredibly energetic, incredibly competitive. So the fact that he lost his wind in his cells, essentially, and he no longer has that will to go forward, it's like one of his fears, possibly. Hyunjin being in almost like this display box, which kind of reminded me of Idol's Nude. Like, literally, Soyeon was on display for everyone. Hyunjin is on display for everyone, and he's crying because he's possibly tired of being a visual. Like, he wants to be more than that. It can also represent Hyunjin's struggles as far as controversies that he was part of with Kingdom Legendary War, for example, that he wasn't able to film that show because of a controversy, and constantly being on display, being a punching bag, being essentially unable to protect himself, being out there for display for anyone and everyone to take a shot at him potentially. He's stuck in that box because of his aesthetic. So he wants to show that he's more than that, possibly. There's also like one of the guys, I'm not sure if it was Lino, who was walking on this ledge or something and they lost balance. Like, literally, the fear is losing that balance between, which is kind of interesting to throw it forward to 3RACHA when they talk about there's a difference between arrogance and self-confidence, and when I cross that line, I'll lose everything. Like, being humble, like, essentially, like, I feel like a lot of the representations in this song is them kind of like being afraid of crossing that line, or being afraid of their being confronted with their biggest fear, not having that will to go forward with Bangchan, for example, being succumb to your dark thoughts with Felix, being the visual and being kind of stuck in that box forever with Hyunjin. Let's continue.
잠깐 눈을 감아서 보는 밤 어차피 아무것도 안 보인다 뭘 기대한 걸까 오늘도 또 똑같아 귀찮아지지 않은 여기 외딴 길 가로등은 오래전에 고장났지 하나 대한 걸까.
It's interesting. Felix is looking at the same box where Hyunjin is trapped, right?
아무것도 안 보인다 뭘 기대한 걸까 오늘도 또 똑같아.
If I open my eyes, it's the same, like constantly stuck in depression. I close my eyes, it's darkness. I open my eyes, it's still darkness.
찮아지지 않은 여기 외딴 길 가로등은 오래전에 고장났지 헐어버린 신발 밑창이 남긴 발자취는 얼만가 지워져 지쳐 쓰러질 것 같은 잠 더는 못 갈 것 같은 내게서 많은 걸 뺏어갔지만 에이 여기 내가 걷는 맞지만 왜 이제와 날 위로하지만 I'm still on my way 길을 걸어가 I'm falling down I'm falling down The street is desolated 난 또 black out 틈만 남은 space down The street is isolated Feel astray 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 Just stop it all cause I'ma go on my way.
Okay, IN has like this cover on his eyes, and he had something on it, almost like a cut on his head, like a bandage. This is like literally an example of it doesn't matter who you are. We all face the same we can face the same problems. And never judge someone because you don't know the battles that they're kind of going through. And them saying I'm still on my way, like I'm still possibly learning to deal with this, as it's a never-ending battle because I have to do this every single day. Like just because they stop talking about it, it doesn't mean that Felix doesn't have those thoughts or that Bangchan doesn't have those fears. Just because you see him on his V lives or now YouTube lives, it doesn't mean that somewhere down the line or where he's going to sleep, he's not thinking about these things. Like we all kind of forget that these idols and all of these celebrities and whatnot, they're human beings, and they all face darkness. And literally the lyrics, although I have a lot taken away from me, like continuously going through this battle, and again, it's a never ending one.
이제와 날 위로하지만 I'm still on my way 길을 걸어가 I'm falling down I'm falling down The street is desolated 난 또 black out 틈만 남은 space down The street is isolated Feel astray
And literally the lyrics, blacked out, spaced out, like I can be in a sea of people and still be depressed, still be alone. Like you can make all the videos you want, you can seem to be as happy as you want. Like literally, I talked about it before, not in a Stray Kids reaction, but there's an image of what depression looks like, and it's literally photos, frames of Chester Bennington, Robin Williams, Kurt Cobain, Marilyn Monroe smiling. Literally the last video of Chester Bennington of Linkin Park, he was having fun with his family or something, if I'm not mistaken. Like he was smiling, he was happy, and then the next thing you know, Robin Williams, one of the greatest actors, comedians, an incredible person that probably saved so many lives and, made millions and fucking billions of people laugh. And you don't know what is going on in their lives for real. Marilyn Monroe, obviously, especially after Idol's Nude, is something that I've been thinking more and more about as well.
고독하지만 the Learn King 갈보만 내 길은 내가 그려줘.
That was a beautiful line. Pull out my sword, I'm the one to draw my own path. Everything that is happening is by my design. Like I have no one to blame, and I'm not looking for anyone to blame. I'm not looking for anyone to take pity on me. Like literally the lyrics don't comfort me now. Like with everything that is happening as I'm walking the night, and walking alone makes it even darker because you're all that much more alone. It's almost like taking kind of like accountability for your own kind of like darkness, and the fact that I'm not blaming anyone. Like this is the life that I chose. I draw my own path, and everything that I did, I got here by my own design. But it's just that this road is not easy. Towards the sunset, but I'm blue. Like I'm the one who got like I'm literally facing the sunset, but I'm blue. I'm depressed. I'm sad. I'm lonely. As blue is the representation of being sad and depressed. And Felix again, as the lyrics say, I'm lonely, the lone king, as he points the gun at him, at himself later, and then he points the gun at his shadow. Here he's looking at himself, but he's looking into his own darkness, which is
The Lone King. 깔끔한 내 길은 내가 그려줘. 너를 향해 but I'm blue. I'm blue even with the moon. I'm still astray. I'm still astray. 다시 넘어질 것
with IN, like I'm not like his heart is obviously kind of like it's hurting, is aching. I don't know enough about some of the personal battles that they have faced and the road that they have faced to become who they are. So I can't really speak too much about the further individual meaning, other than someone like Hyunjin, which is just off the top of my head, and Bangchan. These are again things that I can kind of only guess, and this is obviously none of what I'm saying in this video is a fact. It's just kind of like my thoughts and my ideas about this music video. So um, feel free to let me know in the comment section.
다시 넘어질 것 같은데 더는 못 갈 것 같은데
Damn, Hyunjin is breaking my heart. Changbin is alone in a giant ass stadium, which is probably a fear of a performer essentially performing in front of an audience packed, and then being all by yourself in that very same stadium. It's like almost like one of those biggest fears that you have, much like Bangchan not having the strength to carry on and have that energy. So I feel like Changbin here is like his fear is no longer being able to perform for people, and just literally being alone and kind of losing the ability to communicate to the fans.
내가 걷는 마지막 way 이제와 날 위로하지만 I'm still on my way 길을 걸어가다 falling down
Damn, Felix's eyes is
The
just
street is desolated 난 좀 black out to my now is face down The street is isolated Still astray astray astray
yeah, that was a really
Just stuff it all cause I'ma go my way
Lino falling, and like he's the one who fell, which is why he woke up, because it was all like a dream, which is a representation of their biggest fears. That's why he probably woke up. Maybe, I'm not sure, but yeah, this music video was quite something, and them really delivering the message with the lyrics, and delivering the message with some of these visuals. Everyone did a great job. I cannot stress that enough. But really, like, my heart broke for Hyunjin, and it's just one of those songs where you don't realize what somebody's going through until they literally say it to your face and explain it to you. Yeah, this was absolutely incredible. I don't know what else to say. This was quite something, and I feel like this is definitely a song that many can very easily relate to, because we've all kind of been in that situation, and probably some of us still are, where you kind of, whether it's anxiety or depression, or just doing something well, and then constantly in the back of your mind thinking about how it's all gonna go to shit essentially, and just filling your mind with endless darkness that doesn't even belong there. Not at that moment at least, but you just cannot stop thinking about it, and it's just something that you constantly have to work on, and it's an endless battle. Let's move on to the next song, which is Sungmin and IN's Can't Stop, aka Vocal Racha. Whoa, I was not expecting this.
멀리서 보이던 흐릿한 실루엣 가까이 와 너로 선명해진 그 순간 대책 없이 빠르게 뛰는 얼빛
The electronics, holy shit.
두 눈에 초점을 뭉개보려고 해도 자꾸만 더 커지는 너의 향기
Holy shit!
너와 나 빼고 멈춘 것 같은 배경을 두고 나의 시간은 생각은 빠르게 가고 눈앞은 느리게 가 더는 숨길 수가 없어 나는 너 좋아하나 봐 내가 날 봐도 티가 날 정도로 참 많이 널 원하나 봐먼 짓을 해도
Damn!
헤어나오지 못할 만큼 넌 좋은가 봐
I love this arrangement. Damn.
넌 왜 이렇게 어설프냐고 맥락도 없이 묻는 널
Context is very important.
뭔 말이 나는 대답이 왜 이렇게 떨리게 나와 더는 숨길 수가 없어 난 좋아하나 봐 내가 날 봐도 티가 날 정도로 참 많이 널 원하나 봐먼 짓을 해도 헤어나오지 못할 만큼 넌 좋은가 봐네 눈엔 뻔히 다 보였을 텐데 뭐하러 아닌 척을 했을까 있는 그대로 내 맘을 표현할게 난너 좋아하나 봐 내가 날 봐도 티가
Damn. I think this is like my top 3 songs of this album. Holy shit. I really love this arrangement. Really love the drums here. This has the potential to be like an anime song, anime opening song. There are parts that definitely sound like they would fit. Damn. That was amazing. I was expecting something positive, but not almost like this punk rock-ish type of positive. Like there are parts of this song that literally sound like they belong on like an anime opening or something, and the intro is just beautiful. Some of the lyrics talk about why are you awkward and just overcoming your own battle and expressing your love for this person because you cannot get them out of your head. Like these lyrics are incredibly incredibly relatable in a way. You probably saw it all clearly as, you know, the last person that sees how in love you really are is probably yourself, and it's like them kind of like overcoming the struggles of finally you know, accepting the fact that, you know, I'm in love with this person, and why did I pretend that it wasn't true? Why did I try to pretend? And then finally coming to the conclusion that I need to express my feelings as they are, and literally saying even I can tell when I look at myself, when I think about you, possibly like my whole face and everything, just my eyes light up. This is a really, really, really positive song. Really, kind of like an antidepressant type of song, which I put songs like Case 143 and many of Twice's songs. I put them in that category, and there's plenty of songs, but I feel like it should be like its own like playlist somewhere on Spotify, like antidepressants, and just fill it up with a whole bunch of like super positive, light-hearted type of songs, and this is definitely one of them. And just expressing your true feelings, and just I really love their energy here. I really love their contrast, and how complementary they are of each other's vocals, and I really love their back and forth during that chorus, and that was really really beautiful. I don't really have much else to say. Like everything is so, like, simply put, this is a beautiful song, and I actually top three, top five off of the Maxident album. I really I was expecting something a little bit different. Like I wasn't expecting the rock elements at all. I wasn't expecting it to be so heavy on the drums, and it was just absolutely incredible. Really enjoyed the song, and yeah, I'm very happy to finally check it out and finally finish off this Maxident album. This was an absolute experience, and I pretty much loved every single one of the songs off of this album. With Taste is probably my number one off of this album, and the more I started going through the songs, the more I kind of started thinking that man, Case 143 went from number one to two to three to four, and I don't know where I even put it, but all of these songs are fucking great. I love some of the lyrics here, like it races without a plan, my heartbeat. Like literally, when I look at you, I lose focus, and everything just goes to shit because I don't have a plan. I don't know what is happening. It's kind of like the equivalent of everybody has a plan till get they can get punched in the mouth, which is something that, paraphrasing something Mike Tyson said. But being in love with someone and the feelings that they have for you is also like you think you know who you are, and you think you know exactly how you're going to go through life until you fall in love with someone, and then suddenly everything just flips upside down, and your whole world kind of gets a little bit chaotic, and the plan just ceases to exist. Which is a weird analogy now that I'm thinking about it, but in any case, love makes us crazy, I guess, and I do love the fact that this whole album really touched on love on various different on various meanings, whether it's giving you a TMI is more on the kind of like a childish, almost as if like, what is this love, and oh my god, I have to find out your TMI, tell me everything, or just I want to know everything about you, and it's almost like a game to them. Whereas Case 143 is almost like a representation between my heart and my brain as Police Stray Kids, and then the Heart Stray Kids, which is like the naive and positive version, and then the Police Stray Kids are trying to pull the plug in that music video on this love and whatnot, and then Taste was very seductive, obviously. Chill was just literally like we all kind of need to take a minute and think about everything that happens, and not let our emotions get the best of us. And it's only after the storm and after it's all said and done, when the smoke clears, that's when you can make a calculated kind of like decision and whatnot. And Superboard was just Superboard. It was really really cool. It was a really awesome song, and probably like uh, my second or third favorite songs off of the album. I really really love that one, and all of these songs of this album were great. I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. If you did, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. See you.